talk about diet. Diet is a very important, plays a very important role in back pain and overall health. I'm sure you're aware of that. But I'm going to go over like certain foods and certain things that you can actually eat that can actually help you with back pain and inflammation. Doctors are learning that one of the best ways to reduce inflammation lies not only in the medicine cabinet, but in your refrigerator. Following anti-inflammatory diets, you can fight off inflammation for good. And there are foods that you can easily incorporate into your diet that can reduce inflammation. When we talk about berries are very beneficial, because they contain certain antioxidants that reduce inflammation, but also train our cells to repair faster and fight inflammation. So when you're at the grocery store, maybe pick up some berries. When we think of food, we don't necessarily always have to think of food as, well, I need to fill a void. I need to eat just because I'm hungry. I think it's important to start thinking of certain foods that can actually help you with certain conditions that you have. And berries are a great source to reducing inflammation. Who doesn't like berries? Berries are easy to eat. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. When we talk about leafy greens, we know that they're good for us, but why? We look at spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, dandelion greens, and other leafy greens. They're all rich in antioxidant and they're alkalizing to the body. So what that means is they're going to also help with reducing inflammation, but also increasing the body's potential to heal. So, having a salad, when you're eating a salad, don't think of it, well, I'm just eating these greens maybe because I'm on a diet and I want to lose weight. Look at certain greens that are actually going to be beneficial to you, that are going to actually help the body as a whole, not just fill that void. Then we talk about certain fishes like salmon, trout, sardines, anchovies. These foods contain omega-3 fatty acids, which also are significant in playing the role in reducing anti-inflammatory processes. And if you're going to eat a lot of fish, the only recommendation I always give the patients is you want to try to eat more of wild caught than farm raised fish. If you have like 1 or 2 servings of fish a week, you're supplying your body with nutrients that it's craving. And again, just think of when we're grocery shopping, we're putting meals together. Just think of as we're preparing these foods, to help our bodies heal. Avocados are amazing. They're a healthy fat. They're loaded with monosaturated good fats, the kind which help reduce cholesterol and soothe inflammation inside of our joints. A lot of times people are like, well, how do I eat an avocado? You can mix that into your salad, but what I'll do is, I'll mix that with different fruits or even vegetables, and I'll make a smoothie, and it actually tastes pretty good. But incorporating an avocado or 2 into your diet on a daily basis is going to help facilitate your body's ability to heal. Broccoli is something I don't like to eat, but I have to mention, talking about it. But it's a cruciferous vegetable like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts that are jam-packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and phytochemicals. Broccoli is one of the most studied, or sulfurine is one of the most studied compounds in broccoli. It is shown to have protective effects against cancer, detoxifying harmful chemicals from the environment that would otherwise trigger inflammation to the body. Let's see here. And a couple other foods, or a couple other herbs that I'll talk about. Garlic, adds a lot of flavor to the body, but it actually naturally inhibits histamine and sulfur compounds that stimulate your immune system. So by eating garlic, you're actually fighting disease, and there's actually studies that show it can reduce inflammation and help damaged cartilage. Ginger contains a substance known as gingerols that reduce inflammation and turn off pain-causing compounds in the body. So I hopefully, I know I went through that pretty fast, but I'll give you my email address when we're done. If anybody has any questions, I can elaborate a little bit more on that for you. But the main purpose of talking about the diet was, again, thinking of it as what we can do to help ourselves. And the foods that we talked about were specifically geared for inflammation, but maybe somebody has heart disease, or maybe somebody has high cholesterol. take a look at, certain foods that can actually assist you, with those pathologies to strengthen your body's ability to heal, specifically against those specific pathologies that you may have. Okay, so we talk about stress. Stress is, one of the most complicated, components that I deal with patients because, I feel it plays a huge role in, why they're in pain, but sometimes it's the hardest thing to get rid of. Stress, it could be family, it could be job, it could be financial. Those are things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. But I think, how we deal with them is important because sometimes we just can't eliminate stress from our lives. When we're under stress, it actually constricts the blood vessels and reduces flow to various soft tissues, including muscles, tendons, ligaments, and nerves in the neck and the back. This causes a decrease in oxygen to the area, as well as a buildup of biochemical waste products in the muscles. And in turn, this results in muscle tension, spasms, back pain, a lot of back pain experienced by patients. So, like I said, I think it's overlooked a lot when we're dealing with, health issues, but I think it's something that, we need to kind of address as an individual is, how we can help manage this. One of the easiest and safest ways to reduce stress is through meditation. Meditation is gaining a lot of popularity. If we talked about meditation, even like 5 years ago, you might have looked at me like, what's this guy? This guy's crazy talking about meditation. But now it's starting to become more mainstream. And meditation is a natural way to reduce stress. And if somebody's never meditated before, all you really have to do is go to YouTube, click on meditation music, play it for a half hour, 20 minutes, and then when you're done, you actually start to feel relief. But a lot of these things, they're great to do once, but it's good to incorporate that into your lifestyle, and that's a key thing to think about when we talk about foods and reducing stress and exercise and so forth. I think a lot of times we roll up our sleeves and we're like, okay, let's do this, but also try to create it or try to implement it in a way that it's going to become a routine for you. And that's going to be key because a lot of these things are great, but if you can incorporate them long term, that's when you're going to get the results. Just by eating a couple healthy meals and reducing your stress a couple days here and there, they'll help. But the message I'm trying to get across is how can we incorporate that into our busy lifestyles where it's going to have the long term effect? Because a little bit over time is where we're going to see the value, and maybe it's only 5 minutes a day. Whatever you can incorporate into your lifestyle. Other ways, going for massage, yoga, neurofeedback. We'll talk a little bit about that, and it leads into exercise. Exercise is great to reduce stress, but it can also help benefit with chronic low back pain. It increases blood flow and nutrients to soft tissues in the back, improving the healing process, reducing stiffness that results in back pain. There are a variety of ways to get exercise, but the key is to find a form of exercise that doesn't increase or produce pain. So everybody's different. Somebody can go out and tomorrow and run a quarter mile or a mile. Somebody might just have difficulty, a patient might just have difficulty getting out of their chair. But just because everybody's different doesn't mean that we can't do something. And if you're really struggling, just doing basic exercises like walking, it's very overlooked. People say, well, I can't do things, I'm in so much pain. But you want to try to do as much as you can before you start to increase that pain. And if you're in that much pain where you can't even do any basic exercises, it's good to consult somebody who specializes in implementing exercise to help you at least get started, whether it's a chiropractor, physical therapist, or even your primary care physician. You want to try to get moving to get that blood flowing because that's an important component to the healing process. So I put together a little Q&A here for everybody. I think, does everybody have pens? Amount of pain. Okay, and then let's mark that from a scale of 1 to 10 now. When you're doing your activities of daily living, say if you're doing yard work or you're doing things around your house, you're cleaning up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that? And then Also, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain if you had to do something, physically exerting? So maybe you had to, lift some heavy boxes, or, you maybe had to help somebody move something. How would you feel after that? So now what I want you to do is take the average of those three. So just add them all up and divide it by 3. And that's general tool, a good way to gauge how much pain you're on an average day. Some people might be lucky enough to only have a 1 or a 2. Most people fit into that 5 or 6 category. But then there's unfortunately, there's some people that are in the 7, 8, 9, and 10s. Okay, does everybody have that average calculated? Okay, so now let's take a look at, our overall health and how we're applying some of these tools that we talked about. Are we applying those to our lifestyle? So let's look at hydration. If we feel like we're fully hydrated and we're drinking a lot of water, we're not drinking a lot of caffeinated products, you're reaching your hydration goals, give yourself a 1. Okay, and if you feel like, man, I'm thirsty a lot, but I just don't like water. I drink a lot of coffee. I don't drink water with my meals. I drink a lot of pop. Rate yourself a little bit higher, closer to 10. If you feel like you're somewhere in the middle, rate it accordingly. Okay, now let's do the same thing with sleep. Okay, if you feel like you're getting a good, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and you wake up feeling refreshed, every day, and you have a consistent roll of that, give yourself a 1. Okay, but if you're feeling like you have trouble falling asleep at night, there's so much on your mind, so much going on, and you're not getting good quality sleep. You wake up tired every morning. You feel like you need to have a glass of coffee to get yourself going. You need coffee in the afternoon to keep yourself going for the rest of the day. Then you're on the higher scale there. Give yourself a 10, closer to a 10. And when we look at our diets, are we eating foods that are healthy for us? Or are we eating a lot of fast food? Are we eating processed food? If you're eating a lot of processed food, unhealthy foods, you're going to be on a higher scale. If you feel like you're getting, have a pretty clean diet, and you're giving yourself a lot of fruits, vegetables, natural, good sources of protein, give yourself a 1. Okay. Now let's talk about stress. Are we managing our stress properly, or do we just kind of, shrug it off and go on with our days? And if you feel like you do manage stress properly, are you doing, maybe some form of meditation or yoga or exercising to reduce stress? If you're managing it properly, give yourself a 1. But if you feel like I really don't do nothing with stress, I just kind of bottle it inside, and I'll deal with it when I have to deal with it, you're going to be on the higher scale there. And then we talk about exercise. Are we staying active? And I'm not saying is everybody running a marathon, or is everybody going out and running a mile every day, but are you doing something on a daily basis to keep yourself active? And if you are doing that, and you're staying active, and you're doing exercise to improve your health, give yourself a 1. And if you're not, if you feel like, well, maybe I can start doing, I should do a little bit more, maybe you're about a 5. If you're not doing anything, you're a 10. Okay, so does everybody have numbers for all those categories? Okay, so now add all those up and divide that by 5. I'll give you guys a minute or two. And the point of this is I want you to see, is there a link between what am I doing for myself on a daily basis, and maybe this is why my pain level is so high. Okay, maybe there's certain things that I can do to help my body, heal naturally. You want to be that cast. You want to be that, for a broken bone. You want to be that bandage for a wound. What can are you doing certain things to help yourself heal? Because getting back to what we talked about, our bodies are designed to heal. But let's give it some tools. Let's feed our body with some helpful things to help it heal. And I thought this was interesting because maybe somebody's pain level is high, and there's something on that other end that is high too, where maybe you overlooked it. And and as a doctor, it's our responsibility to kind of dig into all these little things, because I can have a patient that comes in and I'm doing everything for them, and I'm like, man, why aren't you getting better? And I may have not talked about stress. Maybe there's a lot going on in their lives, and I can adjust this patient. They can exercise, they can eat all the proper foods, they can stay fully hydrated, they can get proper sleep. But if they're not addressing stress properly, their body's not going to reach their maximum potential. So there could be something missing in your lifestyle that's not maybe just causing you pain, but also leading to other health issues. So I thought this was an interesting tool, just to kind of, create a little bit of awareness to yourself that, hey, maybe if I start doing some of these things, my back pain will reduce, or I'm going to be able to do, a little bit more for myself. So just want to keep an eye on time here. Okay, yeah, I figured I'd be done at the halfway part, and we're right there.